All right. Hello once again to our sermon preview that's coming up for this Sunday. We've moved into a really interesting set of chapters here in Romans now in chapter 9. And the set is 9, 10, and 11. And in it, Paul focuses his attention so much on the people of Israel, really the nation. He's asking the deep and difficult question, what is God doing with God's people, right? Because in Paul's mind, the Israelites are still God's people. And what does that mean? One of the things it means, as he talks about, is that not everybody who is a descendant of Abraham actually is a true child of Abraham. So there's part of the answer. Then he talks about some very difficult things to wrap our minds around. He talks about the clay. And as you read chapter 9 this week, you're going to see that. And maybe you have already read it and you have questions about it. If you have questions about what is Paul saying here, you're not alone, okay? Hopefully I may be able to kind of help clear it up a little bit, but understand this is a difficult writing that Paul is giving us, and there may not be a perfect answer to it for you, but we'll see what we can tease out of what Paul's saying. He talks about how God can make a lump of clay for this reason and a lump of clay for this reason, and essentially we're the clay, and we don't have the right to look at God and say, why did you make us this way? Again, that's a difficult teaching, but it comes down to a couple of things that we're really going to highlight on Sunday. One is God's righteousness or his justice. Now, when we began this study on righteousness in Romans, I told you that righteousness really means righteousness and justice, to be made right, but also that idea of justice. And because it's the word in Greek is used to translate two Hebrew words, one for righteousness and one for justice. And so it carries that both of those meanings, that double meaning, all contained within it. And so what do we do with that, right? How do we understand what's going on here in God's justice? The other thing to think about from this chapter is that Paul is emphasizing that we don't do anything to earn the way that God treats us. So much of Judaism had been built up. It wasn't supposed to be, but it happened. And I think truthfully, it's kind of happened in Christianity as well. So many of the people had built up this idea that if we do these things right, that will earn God's love for us, God's justice toward us, God's righteousness toward us. Paul says, no, get that out of your mind. That doesn't belong in the way that we think about God. So a lot of things going on in chapter 9. Hopefully, like I said, we can kind of make sense of some of them and spend some time together looking at that, because it is a really interesting chapter and really good to sink our teeth into. So read chapter 9 if you haven't yet. Come prepared to talk about it together, and I hope that we can spend some good time looking at it together. All right, have a great rest of the weekend. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday, and take care, everybody.